Hey, I'm Abby and welcome back to my channel. It has been a few weeks since I posted a video. Don't really know what happened there. I went on holidays and I had filmed things that I intended to edit and upload, but then I got lazy and distracted by, the beach and such things. But I'm back now and I'm super excited to see how this channel goes this new year. I'm going to be working out an uploading schedule so that I have at least one day a week where I always post a video. I'm not sure which day that is going to be yet, possibly Mondays, but I'll work it out with how my scheduling works in uni and everything and let you know which day that's going to be. I will probably post other videos on other days as well, but at least I'll just have a specific day every week where I have to be uploading a video and help keep myself accountable because I can get distracted and forget about things a lot. Anyways, in this video, I'm going to be giving you some book recommendations based on books that I have been recommended by other people on Booktube. So anything that I have discovered via this amazing community of people. The first book series I'm going to be talking about may not come as a surprise if you've seen any of my other videos, but that is the Throne of Glass series by Sarah J. Maas. I have finished the first three in the series, Throne of Glass, Crown of Midnight, and Heir of Fire. I absolutely loved these books. The only reason I haven't continued reading this series is because I'm waiting for the other three books to come in the mail. Book Depository is great, you guys. I love Book Depository, except that sometimes it takes 3 weeks for me to get a book when I could just go buy it. I'll probably be here this week. I went to the post box this morning, was disappointed. Anyways, if you haven't picked this book series up, because I feel like I'm one of the last people to read this series, but if you're like me and you haven't read it, please go read it. Give it a chance. It is amazing. It absolutely lived up to the hype. And I know that can be a concern because when a book is so hyped up and popular, people are like, oh, what if I read it and it's not that good? Then it's like an extra downfall because you've got this amazing expectation of reading this book. But I believe that this series lives up to that. Please go read it if you haven't. It's absolutely amazing. The next book that I'm going to be talking about is Fangirl by Rainbow Rowell. If you're not sure what this book is about, we follow our main character, Kath, who is an introvert, a shy. She loves learning, reading. She is an ultimate fangirl, but she doesn't really know how to interact with people. She doesn't like social situations. She's much more comfortable staying home, in bed, in her room, not really talking to anyone. She goes off to college in this book, so she's in a new environment. New experiences are happening to her. For the first time in her life, she is separated from her twin sister, who has decided that she doesn't want to share the same room with her, just want to be in the same dorm. She wants to have complete independence, which is really difficult for Kath because she's always had that kind of relationship to fall back on. So this is about her journey of coming out of her shell and becoming more independent and finding herself. And I read this book 2 years ago around the time when I was transitioning into uni from high school. So I related to this book and to Kath on a deeper personal level because I could directly relate to the situation that she was in. I love the journey and the growth that she goes on, how much she develops and how much more independence she has by the end of the book. I feel like uni and college is one of the best places to really become more independent, to really step into yourself. I feel like that really happened to me. I'm so much more independent, so much more outgoing since going and pushing myself out of my comfort zone, but it takes an intentional step. You have to want to do it. But yeah, so this is one of the reasons why I love that book. I guess that personal connection when I read it really helped me read it, but I still feel like it's a great book to read at any time. You really get to understand, and I feel like it's a common story with us book lovers. We can tend to be shy, introverted people who don't really know how to interact with people, and I feel like that is communicated really well in this story, and anybody should give it a read. It is really excellent. The third book that I'm going to be talking about is One of Us is Lying by Karen M. McManus. This is a mystery thriller book, and it is described as The Breakfast Club crossed with Pretty Little Liars, and I believe that is an accurate description of this book. This was an excellent read. I only just finished it a few weeks ago in the beginning of January. I hadn't read a mystery thriller book in a while, and it is one of my favorite genres, and I'm so glad that I picked this book up because It was amazing. I read it in 2 days. I couldn't put it down. It is really well written. It's about these 5 kids who end up in detention. They're all from different groups. They don't really socialize with each other at all, but only 4 of them leave alive. The 5th kid is murdered. He's dead and nobody knows who did it. Everyone's suspicious of everyone else, and it becomes this whole huge investigation about these kids. And we switch point of views regularly between the 4 main characters. Karen keeps us guessing the entire time. I switched who I thought it was at times, and then I was completely surprised. I didn't pick the ending, which is something that I love from a mystery book. The ending surprised me by the fact that I didn't pick it, but it makes sense for the story. It's not something that you just pull out of thin air and go, hey, this is the ending, you've got to accept it. It actually works with the story and it makes sense, and it actually is really satisfying as well. So if you haven't read it, please go read it. Her second book, Two of Us is Lying, just came out in January, and I have bought it, and I'm so excited to read it because I am in such a mood for mysteries at the moment. And there's supposed to be a sequel to this book as well, so I'm ready for it. I need it now. The next book that I'm going to be talking about is Passenger by Alexandra Bracken. I read this book a couple of years ago. It is a really good book. The concept of time travel. This is a time travel book if you didn't know that. We follow our main character, Etta, who during a violin concert hears this strange music and follows it and ends up with these people, these bodies along the line, gets pulled through this portal and ends up in, I can't remember the time, but somewhere in the past. And it turns out she is from a family of time travelers. And this is all new to her. She's never heard anything about this her whole life. And so she's got to navigate this whole new world. I love the concept of time travel in this book because it's very intricate and detailed. It's not straightforward, and it's nothing that I've ever encountered before, which is something that I like about it as well. All the portals, they're kind of like wormholes, I guess. There's multiple, but they're all at different places and they lead to different places, different times and different cities and things like that. But you can only find it with music, I believe, from what I can remember, which is really cool and amazing. And Etta is a violinist, so she's perfect for this whole book. But it is a great fantasy time travel book series. Definitely give this a go because it is one of my favorites. The next book that I'm going to be talking about is Rebel Belle by Rachel Hawkins. This book is a cross between a contemporary and a fantasy novel. Our main character, Harper, is heading to a homecoming dance. She is very stylish. She likes her heels. She's a typical Southern belle, and she's forgotten to put on lipstick. Hold up, stop. This is a necessity. But her best friend, she's got a little bit of lip gloss in her purse, so she borrows that and she heads to the girls' bathroom before the dance. And she's just casually putting on her lip gloss when the janitor runs into the girls' bathroom, shuts the door, locks it, and collapses on the floor. And Harper's here freaking out, what the heck is happening right now? The janitor has just locked himself in the girls' bathroom. What is about to happen here? But before she can say anything, she notices that he's covered in blood and he's got a sword poking out of his stomach. And so now she's freaking out. She's going who has a sword? Who's stabbing people? Who's killing the janitor? And then she goes up to the janitor to try and help and find out what is going on. And the janitor kisses her on the lips and then dies. So Harper's freaking out a little bit more now. She's like, what the heck is going on? But it turns out Harper has just now been gifted this great protector role of the paladin, and she has to protect her nemesis, David, who is part of some mysterious order thingy. Anyways, it's really interesting. It's been a while since I read it, so I'm sorry if I just butchered that description. If you like a good contemporary, if you love a good fantasy novel, all rolled in one, this is definitely something. And if you like to laugh, this is a book that you want to pick up, because I laughed out loud multiple times during this book. It is something that you cannot put down. You just have to laugh, you have to smirk, you have to smile. It is just something that brings joy. It's a joyful book. The next and final book that I am going to be talking about, recommending to you, is Anna and the French Kiss by Stephanie Perkins. Now, I know that there is a bit of controversy surrounding this book. Some people really like it, some people really hate it. They're not a fan of the like moral choices and decisions that go on in this book, and I completely understand and I get where everyone's coming from, but this book is still one of my favorites. I think it may be the first book that I ever bought when I first discovered Booktube. Like, I think it was one of the first books that I thought, oh, that sounds like something that I would really like, and I picked that up. Like, before that, I had some like limited choices, limited tastes of books that I read. But this kind of opened me up to the world of like how much is out there, and it really broadened my sights. And there is 2 more books, Lola and the Boy Next Door and Isla and the Happily Ever After, and they are both amazing books as well. They don't have as much controversy surrounding them, but all 3 of these books are amazing books. They are really great, fun reads, and I really recommend them if that sounds like something that you would enjoy. So that is all the books that I have for you today. If you haven't read any of these books, please give them a chance. If you have read any of these books, please tell me which ones are your favorites, which ones maybe you didn't like. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I hope to see you in my next video.